Hey everybody, welcome to Ice Water Yoga. My name is Joe. Today's class, we are going to be moving pretty efficiently. We only have a half an hour today. Perhaps the only reason you chose this class is because it is a half an hour package, but we're going to build a ton of heat in a half an hour, and we're going to use a lot of yoga teachings, a lot of yoga approaches and techniques to improve our yoga practice, but also to just get a really good sweat on. So without wasting any more time, we'll start in downward facing dog, and right away thinking about engaging your hands into the mat. So almost as if you could reach through the mat, you extend through your shoulders, lifting through your low back up into your hips to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. There's a big bend in your knees to start. And tuning into your breath right away here. So deep breaths through the nose or through the mouth. Just make sure your breaths are as complete as you can make them. That's going to build a ton of heat for you just by focusing on the breath. So stick with me on the breathing. Big inhale. Big exhale. 2 more. Inhale, reach through the mat. And exhale. Last one here, biceps spinning forward, press to the inner edges of your hands. Inhale. And exhale slowly. From here, rock your weight forward to a plank position. Biceps spin towards the front of your mat. You're long through your heels, long through the crown of your head. Look to your belly button, your hips will lift. Engage your outer core. Press to the inner edges of your hands. You can absolutely take this at your knees. Deep breath in. And exhale it out. Inhale here. And exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Right away, bend your right knee, right heel to your right glute. And from here, lift your right heel to the ceiling with your left knee bent, creating an opening in your left hamstring. Draw your left heel closer to the mat. From here, bring your knee in towards your chest. Keep everything the same. Set your right foot down. On an inhale, bend your left knee. Exhale, press your left heel towards the ceiling. Draw your right heel a little bit closer to the mat. Inhale your left knee back towards your chest. And then place your left foot down. All right, from here on an inhale, bend your knees deeply. You can come all the way to your knees or step to the front of your space. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold, weight in the balls of your feet. Inhale, arms rise from your sides. And exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale to chair. Sit here just for a beat. Weight falls into your heels. Pinky fingers spinning in towards each other, opening your upper back. Draw your shoulder blades away from each other. From here, exhale, forward fold, weight shifts into the front of the feet, knees bent, a good amount here. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant in front of you, bend your knees deeply, step back, upper push-up position, stay here in plank, looking towards your belly button. Big deep breaths here, don't forget about the breathing. Upper back spreading, so like you're ripping your mat apart. With both your hands pulling away from each other, but press into the inner edges of your hands. From here, lower all the way to the mat. We'll use these blocks later, and we'll mention that a little bit later. From here, hands underneath your elbows, lift through your chest, maybe lift your feet. Exhale, lower to the mat. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, minimal weight in your hands, inhale. Exhale, press it back up to plank. Stay here for a second. Fingers are wide, spread them out as far as you can spread them. Grip your mat with your fingertips. Press into your index finger knuckle. Feel your forearms engage by gripping your mat. From here, shift your weight back just halfway towards downward facing dog. Left hand comes forward an inch. Rock onto the outside edge of your left foot. Maybe stack your feet. Otherwise, you can have one foot in front of the other. Maybe stack the feet for side plank, Vashisthasana as it's known. You can take your right hand out overhead or straight up towards the ceiling. Big breath here. Exhale, right hand comes back. Place it just below the height of your left hand. Bring your left hand back. Rock your weight halfway back towards downward facing dog. Right hand steps forward an inch. Rock to the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left. Maybe stack your left foot on top of your right. Side plank. Maybe take the left hand out over your ear. Stretch the side body. Breathe into your left rib cage. Press into the inner edge of your right hand. Big inhale here. Exhale, replace where your left hand was. Right hand back in line with your left hand, back to downward facing dog. Let's continue to move. On an inhale, your right leg comes high. Big bend in the left knee if you need it. Exhale, right knee to nose. Nice and slow. Inhale, back up. We're not in a rush. We're just going to keep moving. On an exhale, right knee outside, right elbow. Inhale, back up slowly. Exhale, bring it across. Right knee, left elbow. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Inhale, back up. Exhale, create space. Press the mat away with your hands. Dome your upper back. Right knee towards your nose. Come to your left knee. Step your right foot forward for low lunge. Inhale, arms rise. Hips drop forward. Pinky spin in towards each other. Exhale, twist it over to the right. Just a beat here. Inhale, arms rise back up through center. Tuck your left toes under. Press it up to a high lunge here. Lift your hip points. Press firmly into your feet. Pull your feet in towards each other, which is going to draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Hands can be at the hips if it's too much on the shoulders. Bend into the right knee. Slowly descending your left knee to the mat. Making sure you land gently onto the mat, pinkies rising. Reach out of your hip flexor, lift your hips, your front hips up. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Lift the left knee, take both hands inside the right leg. You can also take this at the knee. Just a quick lizard lunge. You can just drop the hips forward. From here, right hand to right knee to twist it open to the right. Right hand can come up towards the ceiling as well. From here, hands frame the front foot, stepping it back, upper push-up position, pause here. Taking our time, grip the mat with your fingertips. Fingers are spread wide from each other. Your index finger is pointing pretty much straight ahead of you as you grip the mat and spin your biceps forward, looking towards your belly button. You're engaging your core. From here, lower all the way down to your mat. Inhale up for Cobra. Take the hands underneath the elbows. Toes are tucked over, so you're pressing into the tops of the feet. Press it up into upward facing dog. Engage your quads so you're not dumping into your low back. Here, grip the mat as well. Fingertips gripping. Lift your chest through your arms. You should be feeling this in the mid back, nothing in the low back. From here, tuck it under through plank, downward facing dog. Grip the mat, press the inner edges of the hands, reaching through your mat to extend through your shoulders. Lift your hips. Maybe your heels are closer to the mat here. Take your time. On an inhale, the left leg rises. Exhale, left knee comes to the nose, slow and gentle. Inhale back. Exhale, left knee outside, left elbow. Inhale it back. Exhale, left knee outside, right elbow. Bring it back. Exhale, left knee to nose. Press the mat away. Grip the mat. Create space with your shoulders, doming your upper back. Step the left foot forward or come to your right knee first to do so. All right, so low lunge. Tuck your toes over so the top of your right foot pressing into the mat. Lift your right hands overhead, or your both hands overhead. Really nice. From here, exhale, twist it over to the left. Right elbow to left knee. Breathing here, long spine. Maybe drop your hips a little bit more towards the mat. Draw your right hip back. Inhale back through center. Tuck your left toes. Press it up, high lunge. Breathe here. Now we're thinking about bringing a big bend into our back knee to allow our hips to stay level. We don't want our hips dumping forward because that puts a lot of pressure in the low back. Lift the hip points, bend the back knee, stay buoyant in the pose. Hold yourself strong through your left quad, your left leg, press into your left heel. From here, lower all the way to the mat, slowly descending your right knee down. Inhale here. From here, right hand down to the mat, left hand to left knee, twist it open to the left. Pressing through your right shoulder. You're not slumping down like this. Press it away. Left hand up towards the ceiling. From here, hands frame the front foot, step it back. Upper push-up position. We'll hold here, gripping the mat, finding the alignment of your hands, shoulder width distance, grab the mat. Press into the inner edges of your hands. Breathe deep. Spinning the biceps forward, gazing towards your belly button. Your hips will lift, your obliques, core will engage. From here, lowering only halfway, shoulders stay above the elbows. Elbows tucked in towards your sides. Stay strong. Press it up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Engage the quads to protect the low back. Exhale, add a push-up if you'd like. Downward facing dog. Catch your breath. Take a deep breath here. A lot of movement. We're going to keep going. We don't have a ton of time, but we're going to move mindfully. We're going to breathe deep. And like I said, we're going to take our time. From here on an inhale, bring your knees to a deep bend, gaze between your hands. Exhale, make your way to the front of your space, no rush. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to chair. Sit deep in this chair. So I wouldn't say your deepest, all right, because your deepest is going to put you on an edge that you probably can't sustain for a good 5 deep breaths. But find the maximum point that you can hold this for 5 deep breaths confidently. From here, hands come to the hips. We're going to take our left heel up and press into the ball of the left foot. From here, straighten your right leg and place your left foot behind you. We're going to rock it forward for warrior 3, okay? Keep the hands at the hips. Lifting through your chest, you're squaring your left hip forward. Shift it forward, balancing on your right foot. Breathe here. Press firmly into the inner edge of your right big toe mound. Reach back with your left foot. Reach forward with your chest. You don't have to be parallel to the ground here. It's okay. Bring a bend into your right knee. Step it back into chair. We'll take the other side. Lift your right heel. Straighten your left knee. Step your right foot back. Hands can be at the hips. Lifting through your chest. Right hip squares forward. Shift it forward. Find a place where your hamstring starts to tell you you've reached a really productive limit. Deep breath here. Lift through the chest to stay strong in the back. Bend in the left knee, step it back forward, chair pose. From here, hands come to heart center, left elbow outside right knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. From here, hands to hips. Shift your chest forward and up. Step it back. High lunge. Arms rise overhead. From here, we take the hands to the hips, and then we twist our chest open to the left. Drop the right knee to the mat. Inhale back up. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Left knee tracking, staying right over your left ankle the whole time. Come back through center. Drop your back heel. Your front heel is in line with your back heel as you lift your chest up and forward. Warrior one. Drawing your feet together. Your right hip is trying to square to the front of the mat as you press away with the outer edge of your right foot. From here, opening. Warrior two. Front heel in line with the middle of your back foot, right in line with your back arch. Arms reach away from each other. Left knee right over your left ankle. So if you've shifted back a little bit, draw the knee forward. If it's out ahead, definitely draw it back. Chest hovering right over your hips. Soft gaze over your left middle finger. Release your jaw. Draw your feet in towards each other, press into your front left heel. Open your palm to the ceiling. Reach both hands away from each other. As you reach your right hand back, your left hand rises, reverse warrior. Breathing into your left rib cage. Don't come all the way back. Make sure you're not putting pressure on your right knee with your hand anywhere but your right knee. Shift the weight forward. Right hip back, left hand up and forward. Left forearm to left quad, right hand overhead. Extended side angle pose. Breathe here, press away with the outer edge of the right foot. Maybe the right hand comes out overhead. Breathe into your right rib cage. Open your intercostal muscles, the muscles in between your ribs. Spin your pinky down towards the floor and then reach the pinky up and away from you. Right hand back up. Pull yourself out of the pose, warrior two. Back to warrior one, shift your feet, heel to heel alignment. Back to high lunge, feet hip width distance, hip points lift, step it back, chair pose. We have the other side. From here, shift the weight forward, left foot comes back, feet hips width distance, high lunge. Hands come to the hips, big bend in the back knee, twist it over to the right with your chest, and on an exhale, lower your left knee to the mat. Inhale back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Controlling the descent with your exhale, full and long. Inhale up. Bring it back towards center, arms rise overhead. From here, drop the back heel. Heel to heel alignment, arms rise overhead, chest forward, press away with your left foot, left hip draws forward. So you're trying to square your left hip flexor, the front of your left hip towards the front of the mat. It'll never get there. That's okay, it's about how it feels. Breathe here, strong and deep. From here, open the arms, warrior two, front heel in line with the middle of your back foot. Again, arms reaching away from each other, but your jaw is soft. Fingers spreading, pressing into your right heel, but your gaze is soft over your right middle finger. Right knee right over your right ankle. If it's shifted forward or back, make an adjustment. From here, open your front palm towards the ceiling. Reach it up towards the ceiling. Come back, breathe into your right rib cage. You can take your left hand behind your back if you'd like. Coming back, reach the left hip back, right hand forward, right forearm to right quad, extended side angle. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling, press away through your right shoulder. Left hand comes out overhead. Left pinky down towards the ground, reach away through your left pinky. Press down on the outer edge of your left foot. Deep breath into your left rib cage. Pull yourself up out of the pose, back to warrior two. Warrior one. High lunge. Step it back to chair. Big toes come to touch, heels slightly apart, pinkies draw in towards each other. Draw your sit bones down. Breathe here. Exhale, straighten your legs. Open up, facing the side of your mat. All right, last little bit of work here. We want to draw our heels in towards each other. Hands can come to the hips. Feet can come all the way towards completely parallel with each other, okay? So feet facing directly away from each other. They can also be at slight angles, toes facing slightly forward. We're gonna sit in horse pose for 2 minutes. All right, so I have a timer. We're gonna sit in horse for a full 2 minutes. And during that time, you don't have to be in it yet. During that time, I encourage you to find deep breath, to stay focused in the moment. This is the last piece of the intense work of this class. Take your time going into it. Take your time coming out of it. We're not rushing out after the 2-minute mark. All right? So you know what's coming. Squat it down. You know something you can hold for 2 minutes. The timer starts now. Heels drawing in towards each other. Your knees should be right over your ankles. You can straighten. If you straighten your knees, my knees are coming in towards each other. That means you shorten your stance. You bring your feet closer together. We want our knees right over our ankles. Okay, I'm going to come a little lower. We're going to take a few arm variations. Okay, let's take the arms out wide. Sit deep, lift your hip points. Press into your heels, draw your heels towards each other. Spin your palms up towards the ceiling. Breathe here, spread your palms, spread your fingers away from each other. Reach away through your fingertips. Feel the opening in your biceps. Draw your thumbs back and away from you. Open your chest. Gaze can be down. From here, bring your hands forward, palms facing each other in parallel. Draw your shoulders down your back. Flip your palms up towards the ceiling. And then draw your hands straight up, stretching out the underside of your armpit, your lat area. Lower that down. From here, right arm comes underneath left. Give yourself a bear hug. Feel the opening in your upper back, scapula area. Draw the backs of your hands towards each other if you'd like. Lift through your elbows. If you have the double bind for eagle arms, take it. Otherwise, keep the backs of the palms facing each other or stay in the bear hug. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other and draw them down your back. Release that, arms rise overhead. Let's take the other side, left arm underneath right, give yourself a bear hug. Stay here, spread your scapula. Draw the backs of your hands together, or take the double wrap. No matter where you are, you're lifting your elbows up and away from you, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Breathing into your upper back. Arms rise overhead, that was 2 minutes. Straighten your knees. Feet come facing forward. Hands come to your hips, lift through your chest. Not making a big deal out of what we just did with the horse pose, just accepting that. Chest leading forward. You can take your hands to blocks here. That would be good to demonstrate, Joe. Hands to blocks, wherever you are. You want to keep your hips back, pressing into the inner edges of your feet, and draw the back sit bones up to the ceiling as you lift your chest forward and away from your hips. Breathing into your hamstrings. Okay. From here, remove the blocks. Take your hands to your hips, lifting up, leading with your chest. All right, we'll remove the blocks here. Coming back to downward facing dog. We've got about 5 minutes left in class. So for this last little bit, we're going to do a little bit, we're going to take a different approach than what would normally happen in a yoga class. Normally, what would happen here is a closing series. We're going to close today with some handstand jumps. And then we'll do a very, very, really, really brief closing practice. So we just did horse. Our legs are warm. Our full body should be pretty warm at this point. We've done twisting. We haven't done a ton of back bending, but we've done a ton in our legs. So let's bring our toes together to touch. All right, we're going to take 5 jump ups with the idea that we're going to jump as high as we can to get to handstand, okay? And if handstand isn't part of your practice, you're not going to be jumping that much, right? It might look like this, all right? But you're going to jump the maximum height that you feel comfortable, that you're not going to fall over the other side. You can absolutely do this at the wall, with the wall right here, about 6 inches or so in front of your fingers. But I would encourage you to do it in the middle of the room to feel what it's like to truly shift the weight into your hands without a safety net, okay? So now you control how much you're going to jump, and the first one should never be too much. Big bend in the knees. Exhale, jump lightly, shift the weight to the hands, land softly. Inhale, bend the knees, maybe a little higher. Exhale, jump, land back down. 3 more. Big bend in the knee. Inhale. Exhale, jump maybe a little higher. Land. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, jump. Last one here. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, shift the weight into the hands. Hover for a second. Land back down. Bring the knees to the mat. Child's pose. Knees are wide. Hands are forward. Drop your hips down towards your heels. Take a rest. Deep breathing here. Now, as mentioned, we're going to close very briefly. If you have stretches that you'd like to do at the end of class, you can pause, end the class, do those now. What we'll do, just to briefly close, is sit on a block or elevate the hips, okay? And so heart rate is really high right now from all the work we were doing. Let's ease out of that high intensity, high heart rate. It's called Badakonasana Pose, bound angle. Soles of the feet together. Your knees may be elevated or they may be down. We'll draw the chest forward. If you're cool here, just sit here with your knees drawing towards the ground. If you have the room, walk your hands forward, draw your hips back, press your feet together. Nice opening for the hips. Outer hip. And we're only here for about 5 breaths. Staying seated on the block. We'll take the heels out in front of us. All right, sit bones pressing firmly into the block. Your knees can be bent here. Just want to imitate Paschimottanasana, which is basically a forward fold pose, seated forward fold. We'll draw our chest up. Hands can be at blocks at our sides. And we just draw our chest towards our feet. So bending the knees to any degree, you should feel an opening in the back here, and then maybe wiggle your heels forward to straighten the knees a little bit more. Find a place where it feels good in your hamstrings. Maybe grab your feet if you've got it. The elevated hips sitting on the block is huge for creating spaciousness and openness. Breathing into your upper back. Staying focused on your breath. Slowly come out, leading with your chest. Please remove the block. Okay. From here, you can just lay back on your mat. Take Shavasana, final resting pose, corpse pose. It's just laying on the mat, feet wider than hips width, or a little bit wider than hips width. Let your feet fall apart from each other, arms comfortable at your sides. And just be there for 5 minutes. Otherwise, close however you'd like. Thank you for your time. I hope this was an efficient half an hour for you, and that you're feeling comfortable and a little bit more warm in your body. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your time. I'll see you next time.